The Ohen family of Owalizomo in Owa Kingdom of Ika ethnic nationality. The Ohen kings, including Frank Ifeanyichukwu Ohen and Gerald Ohen, are of the Ohen family of Idumogbe quarters in Owalizomo. Ohen is the contracted form of Ohen, which means it is all right, it settles now. Owalizomo is one of the 8 communities that make up the burgeoning and robust Owa Kingdom. Owa Kingdom receives leadership and traditional oversight from the Obi of Owa. The stool of the Obi is currently occupied by His Royal Highness Dr. Emmanuel O. Efezomo II, the Obi of Owa, JP, Chairman, Delta State Traditional Rulers Council, and a recipient of the National Honor of Order of the Niger, OON, in year 2008 from the federal government of Nigeria. Our kingdom, together with 10 other kingdoms, make up the Ika people, an ethnic nationality spread across Delta and Edo states of Nigeria. The Ohen family, including Frank Ifeanyichukwu Ohen and Gerard Ohen, are Ika sons with roots in Owalizomo of our kingdom. There are abundant accounts and evidences that Ika people migrated from Benin. The majority of the communities that make up Ika lands have the accounts of their beginnings linked with the Benin kingdom. A case in point is a historical account of our people. In Benin language, Owa means house. That is what has been contracted into Owa over time. A man named Adaba from Ikoha village in Benin sojourned to Ute for medical practices and married the daughter of Okbo, the Obi of Ute. After many years, the man wanted to return to his homeland, Ikoha, with his household. On reaching a river, Adaba's wife refused to go further and told the husband that she would not go beyond the river that crossed the road. She expressed this in the language of her Ute people as Ofiakyunzo. Adaba decided to have his family settle there and said in his Benin language, Owa Ihiaki, meaning all is home. They built a cottage, which the husband Adaba referred to as Owa, meaning a home. Subsequently, Owa and later Owa became the name of the location. In the case of Abon, which is another large kingdom of Ika people, a Benin account has it that the place that is now Abo used to be called Agbon, which in Benin language means world. The account goes on to state that the present-day Abo or Agbon got the name as a result of events and outcomes that gave the location a climb of a new world at that time. Till this day, the Owa, Agbo, and many other Ika people and communities have families that are mixed with persons with Benin roots, resulting from practices like sharing male or female children to the families of both parents. Ika and Benin people also have their communities more or less overlap in some cases, and intermarriages are commonplace. The rapprochement between the Ika and Benin people extends to their socio-cultural landscape and climes, including sharing language components to very great proportions, sharing core names of persons, creatures, and common objects, sharing titles, and having uniform traditional leadership and administrative patterns, myths, and mythology, as well as royal regalia and paraphernalia. Our kingdom is located in the oil-rich Niger Delta region of Nigeria. The area has abundant hydrocarbon, that is, petroleum, oil, and gas deposits. The oil-rich Niger Delta communities are host to an array of oil and gas exploration, production, and services providing multinationals. The Royal Dutch Shell Company, Italy's Egypt, as well as Chevron and ExxonMobil of the USA have multiple operations bases in the region. The OML 147 oil and gas block spreads across Acre-land. The license for OPL 257, which was converted to OML 147, was acquired by Pan Ocean Oil Corporation Incorporated of New York during a bid round. Thereafter, Pan Ocean Corporation Incorporated signed the production sharing contract PSC of OPL 257, now OML 147, with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. The asset has commercial quantities of petroleum crude and gas in Owale, Demma, Obianima, Abavo, and Abo Aledemma. Prospective activities have also indicated similar abundance in Okpe, Ekuma, Aliohen, and Ibogili. The Ohen, originally Ohen family, has a recorded history that dates back to the 15th century, at which period the patriarch Nwoko was born. The Ohen family, without any contesting, commands a considerable degree of preeminence in our kingdom and in the entire Ika nation. The rating is further attested to by Professor Emeritus G.C. Bobo, who share the same Owalizomo indigenous roots with the Ohen family. According to Professor Ibobo, the Ohen family has given rise to children and grandchildren who have occupied various prominent positions in and outside our community, outside the state, and outside the country. The examples are quite many. From Frederick Moka Ohen himself, who is a forerunner in the Christian ministry over here, to the legendary barrister Geoffrey Ohen and engineer Antonio Bwigwe, son of Dame Jane Bwigwe Ni Ohen, who was an icon herself. Another example from the many of them in the family is the current president of the Owalizomo Community Development Association, Dr. Jeff Ohen Jr., who is a grandchild of Pa Frederick Moka Ohen. One can then say that the Ohen family has been the most prominent family that has risen from Owalizomo. That was Professor Ibobo's evaluation. This prominence is sustained by the several strides and attainments of generations of members of the Ohen family. An archived, now digitized manuscript that was prepared by Pa Frederick Moka Ohen has the records of his progenitors that span the neighborhood of 6 centuries. The record shows that Nwoko begot Egwamadia, who in turn begot Alamaiba. Alamaiba begot Abontian, and he became the father of Ohen. Frederick Moka was begotten by Ohen and was born at about 1889 AD. Frederick Moka Ohen was 17 years old when the Owa Iredi War of 1906 to 1907 broke out. The agenda that emerged from the Owa Iredi War inspired Professor Sam Okala's NLNG and the Nigerian Prize for Literature's $100,000 award-winning folk script on our kingdom entitled Iredi War. Ohen, that is Moka's father, who lived for 109 years before he died on July 7, 1965, was survived by 136 children. Ohen was a God-fearing, merciful, forgiving, and intelligent man. Ohen also exhibited great foresight and put 2 sons in school despite the strongly held opinion at that time that going to school translates to surrendering to the inhuman agenda of European colonialists. Ohen was also a community chief as well as a renowned farmer and ruled Alizomo as the Okpara from August 1947 to July 7, 1965. Ohen ruled nobly and peacefully as the Okpara of Owa Alizomo and was given a resoundingly honorable burial at his death. His achievements included spearheading the building of Owa Alizomo Maternity and Clinic, the building of the LA Local Authority Primary School, and of the Owa Alizomo Community Hall. Ohen also facilitated the building of Owa Alizomo Night Guards Hut and the building of Owa Alizomo market stalls with corrugated iron roofing sheets. He died on July 7, 1965, and burial rites held from November 20 to 28 of same 1965. The reference is made until this day to Ohen's funeral. Many still describe it as the days that got darkened, when Ohen's children darkened the clouds and almost deafened people with cannon shots. Cannon shots are used in honor of our nobles, the same way that the British monarchy uses gunshots to announce the birth of an heir or death of a monarch. For Ohen's funeral, 100 gunshots were fired every day for 8 days by the family. 25 shots at 6 a.m., 25 shots at noon, 25 shots at 4 p.m., and 25 shots at 6:30 p.m. For 8 days running. Friends of his sons and relatives added over 200 shots. 4 cows were slaughtered for meat for Ohen's funeral ceremony feasts. Frederick Moka Ohen was his parents' firstborn son. He was sent to Agbo Government School on his father's free will. Moka was very clever in school and was nicknamed M.A., Master of Arithmetic. And he once received what is popularly referred to as double promotion when he was moved from Standard 1 to 2 because of his sterling academic performances. Frederick Moka Ohen became a Christian in 1919 and was baptized on October 21, 1921 by Reverend Hezekiah O. Nweje of Onitsha. He was never absent from church classes and meetings, nor from Sunday worship services. In 1919, Moka Ohen was employed by the then Obi of Owa, Stephen Efezomo Obagbena, as a part-time clerk while he was still a student. He did this work until the Obi's death on April 22, 1920, and for some times after the death of Obi Obagbena. Moka Ohen chose to be a teacher, for he said, "As I was taught, I will teach others." His career as a teacher saw him initially teaching at Agbo Government School, his alma mater, and St. Christ Anglican Church, School, Obiaroko, in 1923. In 1925, he, Moka Ohen, was employed by William John Payne, W.J. Payne, under the Anglican mission at Amaho Waterside. From Amaho Waterside, he got transferred to Banke Waterside, from where Moka was trekking 11 miles to and 11 miles from Benin City to make reports every 3 months to the superintendent, who was in charge of the Benin, Ora, and Ishan divisions. Moka's next move was to St. Andrew's Anglican Church and School at Okogbo, which is 25 miles away from Benin, near Sokbomba. Here at Okogbo, Pa Frederick Moka Ohen did not only build a church that was covered with iron sheets, but also converted the entire dwellers of Okogbo to become congregants and made a great name. He was at Okogbo from July 27 to January 1934, when he was transferred to St. Peter's in Uronigwe. He went to St. Andrew's College, Oyo, in 1939 for a 6 months refresher course from March 1 to August. Thereafter, Moka Ohen was transferred to go and head the mission school at Obaritin along Benin Sapele Road before Olugbo town. At the end of the year, he took his second class of statistics examination and passed it. In January 1940, he was relocated to head the Anglican school at Osa in Akugbe before he was moved again to St. John's Church, Akuku, as a catechist of the church and a group leader. From Akuku, his next duty post was the Christ Church in Achi Isikwe and St. Mark's Church, Ogo, in 1949. Next for Moka Ohen was a transfer to Sapele to be in charge of the Igbo language congregation of St. Luke's Church in 1950. From Sapele, he got another transfer to St. Andrew's Church, Owoibu. Frederick Moka retired from the mission work on December 31, 1969, after 46 meritorious years of service in schools and church. That is, from October 1923 to December 1969. He also held community leadership positions, like that of serving as the second in charge to the Ohen Gbogbo age group of Owa Lizomo at the age of 75 years, but turned down the offer of His Royal Highness the Obi of Owa to be the Eroba Amir of Owa, as accepting the appointment will set a worrisome precedent of a leader of Christian community in his Anglican communion. Frederick Moka Ohen's decision was guided by the need to foreclose any future incident where a Christian would be nursing an undesirable worldly aspiration and go on to cite him, Moka, as the first Christian leader to accept such things. Here, this comment on the Pa Ohen family and his person.
It is a family that is so united as a result of the activity of Pa Frederick Moka Ohen, whom people of my generation call Papa Owa. Pa Frederick Moka Ohen is the patriarch of the family. He embraced Christianity early and brought up his children in a Christian way. This is a man who embraced people with unbridled hospitality. He never missed to be in touch and to touch his people from Benin, the Edo Kingdom. He never missed to be in touch with his in-laws in as far as in the eastern part of the country. He was committed to people's development. For Papawa and members of his generation, people's development to them was like a divinely ordained mission.
Frederick Moka Ohen, who is one of those who had early contacts and dealings with the European missionaries in Owa, married Esther Onyanwonime Menjoy Rabo in 1923, and the couple had the following children: Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen, Geoffrey Chukwunwike Ohen, Ebenezer Ohen, Janet Ngozika Ohen, Stephen Ohen, Ruth Efoma Ohen, Mercy Chinyere Ohen, and John Chukwukamado Ohen. Barrister Geoffrey Chukwunwike Ohen, who is the second child of Frederick Moka Ohen, is referred to in many quarters as a legend. He emerged as the first barrister at law in our kingdom. Geoffrey Chukwunwike Ohen was described by Frederick Moka as a boy of resolute determination. By self-determination, he matriculated in 1951, went to London to study law, and was called to bar in 1962. Janet Ngozika Ogbigwe Ni Ohen is a John Chukwukamado Ohen rose to become a vicar, an Anglican priest in London, in his London base. Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen, who is the first child of Frederick Moka Ohen, married Cecilia Nwanneka of Egbuna of Arondi Zogo in Olo division of Imo State, and between them they had Ifeanyi Chukwu, Esther Chinyere, and Solomon. The other wife that Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen married was Elizabeth Kayode of Abo, and both of them had Ngozi Okechukwu, Nkechi, and Onyemakono. Gerald Ohen and Lindsay Ohen are the children of Frank Ifeanyi Chukwu Ohen and grandchildren of Reverend Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen, who, besides being in the ministry and setting up a church, was also a successful civil servant. Reverend Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen was a management staff of the former Bendel State branch of the Nigerian Telecommunication Company, NITEL. It is therefore not surprising that his grandchild, Gerald Ohen, in his own time is making forays in the same telecommunications sector. In the same vein that the past and present generations of Ohen family, the children and grandchildren of Reverend Emmanuel Okamaka Ohen, keep upholding the family attributes of hard work, good judgment and vision, and of excellence. A commentary on Frank Ifeanyi Chukwu Ohen has these details on him.
Frank Ifeanyi Chukwu Ohen attended a Grammar School. He finished in the year 1972, because once he recalls his contemporaries at that time, they were ahead of us. As a matter of fact, their performances attracted us to also go through that school. A Grammar School is an A-list learning center in the area and entire region. The school has over the years impacted positively on young men who pass through it. The endowment that these young men got from the school helped so many of them to develop, what I say, exceedingly in scholarship and intellectualism. And it keeps helping so many today to become people of high status, people of deep wisdom, high in humane dispositions, hard work, in responsiveness to humanity, and in demonstrating exemplary dedication in their different endeavors. Past students of Grammar School that manifest these qualities are everywhere. They include persons like Professor Emeritus J.C. Bobo, Professor Sylvester Ebu, people like the financial and corporate magnate Jim Ovia, and other contemporaries of late Frank Ifanichukwu Ohen. Frank Ohen himself is also on record as one who manifested commendable people leadership in his days in a Grammar School. You will appreciate this the more if you know what it takes to qualify to be a prefect in a Grammar School those days and until now. So for Frank to have been a prefect tells a whole lot about his academic capabilities and leadership capabilities. I'm talking about those who fall into what we've been describing. The list includes people like Professor Erikebo, Professor Moses Obiazi, Tom Oboy, the former managing director of Unique Insurance, Professor Monday Wadiani, and so many others. That is the kind of contemporaries that Frank Ifanichukwu Ohen had, and that demonstrates, reflects the kind of qualities that were imbued in them, endowed in them by the school, Eka Grammar School.
Barrister Geoffrey Chukwuwike Ohen has the following children from his wife, Cecilia Onye Makono. Geoffrey Chukwuwike Ohen Jr., Benjamin Chukwuwike Ohen, Joy Nkechinyere Ohen, George Ebere Ohen, Eric Agibulem Ohen, and Christopher Chinedu Ohen. Mrs. Janet Ngozi Kogbuegwe Ni Ohen is the first daughter of Frederick Moka Ohen. She was married to Joseph Chukwuyem Ogbuegwe of Ekwoma Abavo, to whom she bore the following children: Dr. Samuel Goziem Ogbuegwe, Engineer Anthony Uche Ogbuegwe, David Chukwuweta Ogbuegwe, Ifeanyi Nkechi Ogbuegwe, Christiana Ewere Ogbuegwe, and Andrew Ogbuegwe. Mercy Chinyere Ohen was another daughter of Pa Frederick Ohen. Mercy Chinyere Ohen married Reverend Christopher C. Kiwamu of Owoibo and bore to him a son whom his father gave the same name as himself, Christopher Kiwamu. John Chukwukamadu Ohen is another son of Pa Frederick Moka Ohen. John Chukwukamadu married a West Indies woman, Valerie Constance. John and Valerie have the following children: Angelia Constance Ngozika, Christiana Angelo Guem Ifoma Ohen, Christiana Adora, and Nkechim Nyerem. A good number of folks of the Ohens have taken their places at national and international front lines. These icons from Eka land include Engineer Anthony Ogbuegwe. Engineer Anthony Uche Ogbuegwe is a cousin of Frank Ifeanyi Chukwu Ohen, father of Gerald Ohen. Engineer Ogwegwe is the president of the African Refiners Association. He was Group Executive Director, Refining and Petrochemicals of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, after serving as the Managing Director of the Port Harcourt Refining Company Limited up till 2012. Jim Ovia is the chairman of Zenith Bank PLC, also commonly referred to as the godfather of banking. Jim Ovia was recognized as a leading entrepreneur in Africa by the African American Institute for his business leadership and philanthropy. Jim Ovia also received the 2017 AA1 Business Leader Award at a ceremony held on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He was recognized for impacting hugely on enterprise and human resources development on the African continent. Prince Nduka Obagbina. Nduka Obagbina is the founder of This Day newspaper based in Nigeria, as well as the owner of Arise TV, based in the United States of America and the United Kingdom. He is a prince in our kingdom. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Ifeanyi Okowa is the executive governor of Delta State. He is a trained medical doctor who successfully carved a niche for himself in the medical field. Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa was elected a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2011. Godwin Emefiele. Godwin Emefiele is the current governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. He was the managing director of Zenith Bank, Nigeria PLC, before he took up the position of the governor of the Apex Bank in 2014. Emefiele emerged as the best graduate in finance on completion of his MBA in 1986. He is a thoroughbred scholar, and he has also studied variously at Harvard, Stanford, Wharton Business School, and the University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Vincent Ebu, respected petroleum engineering consultant in Nigeria, an alumni of Harvard Business School and Oxford University with over 30 years global oil and gas experience. Currently the chairman and managing director of Petrolog Group, comprising Petrolog International based in Isle of Man, Petrolog do Venezuela, Petrolog Ecuador, and president of George Stevens Resources and GSRO Global Incorporated based in Houston, USA. The chairman of the board of Travmatics Incorporated based in Ashland, Kentucky, USA. Petrolog is represented in 4 continents with over 12 offices in 12 countries. Primate Dr. Nduka Oko. Dr. Nicholas Oko is the bishop and primate of the Anglican Communion, Nigeria. Major General Liu Irabo, commander of the United Nations multinational force in West Africa, formerly the theater commander Operation Lafia Dole of the anti-Boko Haram insurgents. Others include Professor Kester Ichenim, Professor J.C. Bobo, Professor Sam Okala, Justice Ehiwari retired, Professor Igbo, Professor Igbo, Professor Eric Igbo, Professor Obiazi Moses, Professor Augustine Mabata, Professor Sylvester Igu, and a host